You don't tell me. I'll tell you what it sounds like, okay? No interruptions. Wish your show about politics wasn't so political. Guess I'm out of here. Okay. You got it, boss.
What you think about when you're born into a fire? Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world.
At the gym. Look out.
Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway.
So you will not believe how I have this thing rigged up. I should have took a picture. I've got a fan balanced and duct taped and zip tied upside down to the top of the case, blowing right across the CPU and cooler. It's just like a little 9-inch metal fan.
And we feel
But my cooler should be here tomorrow. It's got to be the cooler because usually I idle at like 70 or at 60 something. Today I was idling at like 70 something, even with the fan. And usually I don't break 70 when I'm streaming, but I'm at 80 right now. But at least it's not hitting 100 like it was. Skipping out and shit. So we'll see. If it crashes out, it crashes out. Last night, we had the temperatures weren't I mean, they were rising and it was probably going to crash out eventually. But while I was fucking around trying to get it to cool down and moving the fans and shit around, I guess I unplugged or knocked the router cable loose. And then unplugged the fucking router. So I lost internet and it takes forever to reboot. But it didn't matter. It was heating up anyways. Now we got the fan going.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted
Linda
to thank
Binda
you
or JD
for
Vance?
watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome, everybody. I'm Will Bird. This is Cold Beer Confessional. I forgot to click the thing. Thank you for joining us. Hopefully, the temperatures were. Oh, my camera's still off. Hopefully the temperatures stay with us, and we can actually live stream. Let's do a. I need to start putting the temperature on the screen. So fans at 100%. My rigged up fan is on high, and we are at 78.4 average across the CPU cores. So that's not bad. Yesterday when I started streaming, we were above 80. Almost 90, but 78.4, 78.3 is not too bad. I got a lot of tabs open, a lot of shit going, but that's the way I usually run the show. I might have like 60 tabs open during the show and like close them slowly. So I've got a new air cooler coming tomorrow. It was cheap, but it was rated as one of like the best buys for like budget and cooling or whatever. It's the Peerless Assassin 120, I think is what it's called. Gamers Nexus ranked it like one of the best all-around purchase for 2023 or 2024 or some shit. So it's coming. If you don't know what's on the screen, neither does anybody else. This is JD Vance in drag. Now, normally I don't try to kink shame here, but it's kind of funny that these are the weirdos and freaks they're going after. And then by the way, JD Vance 100%, 100 fucking percent wears eyeliner. Like his wife did like a media piece. Like she talked to the news about his eyelashes, how she was jealous of his eyelashes. But he 100% wears eyeliner. Like she never mentioned the eyeliner. She was like, oh, I've always been jealous of his eyes and his eyelashes. Yeah, but no one's talking about his eyes and his eyelashes. Okay? No one's talking about that. Instead, we're talking about the eyeliner he wears. The eyeliner he wears. Not eyelashes, eyeliner. And he 100% wears it. And I think it's because his face just kind of looks like like a peeled potato. Like an unformed ball of silly putty when he doesn't wear something, okay? So he's got to have something on. That's a given. Why is my phone shit not refreshing? I'm trying to get some links that I sent to myself. I made it. By the way, people are still claiming that Kamala Harris's shit in DC or in Detroit is fake. Okay? This is not fake. So this all started when a TikToker, Harry Sisson, he's a big like left-wing TikToker, when he posted a video, and I think what he's done is he's put a filter over it because it doesn't look like a natural, or whoever he shared it from, it doesn't look like a natural picture, okay? It looks like Mag is absolutely deceiving there, claiming that Kamala Harris crowned Detroit, which can be seen in multiple videos as fake or AI. I think there's a filter over this one image, but this is where most of it started. Let me see if I can find the original image. He posts a lot because this is what he does for a living, right? He's an influencer. His name's Harry Sisson. I watch him sometimes. What the fuck are you talking about? You're so fucking crazy. I put up with your crazy for way too goddamn long. I have no idea what the fuck you're even talking about. Please leave. Holy fuck. He's in his 20s. He shares this image. Now, this image to me looks like it has like some type of beautification pyramid filter or some shit on it, right? Because it almost looks like a painting. Like when you open this image in a new tab, it almost looks like a painting. I don't know if you see like the edges of people's like arms and stuff. It almost looks like a painting. So people grabbed this picture and started zooming in on it. We won't do it that way. We'll do it this way. It's easier. Jesus Christ. So people started zooming in it. They're like, oh, look, their phones aren't recording the same thing. This can't be real. But again, it looks like somebody's put a filter on it to kind of make it almost look like a painting, right? To make it almost look like a painting, right? Instead of like an image. It's got a filter on it. I can tell there's a filter on it. So then people start saying, oh, well, their hands look weird. Well, this is weird. Well, they're not all recording the same thing. So then they start saying that the Harris campaign is using AI crowds at their rallies. And it even gets, and this has been going on Twitter for like the last 3 or 4 days, okay? Actually, hold on, what's this? Yeah, so here's one of the people saying, why is someone recording everything different? Now, again, like I said, I think it's got a filter on it. But this has been going on for 3 or 4 days on Twitter. People have been saying, oh, it's AI images. She uses, well, finally it got to Trump. So Trump does a manic post. It'd be interesting to see how that's Joe Rogan. Trump does one of his manic fucking enraged posts. And Harry's actually pretty good. I think he does well. I watch him quite a bit. He seems to be likable by that son. So Keemstar posted, this is where it's been going around. It says, look at the reflections on the plane. If Kamala Harris had to use AI to act like she had support, then any poll saying she's at 50% or higher is also false. All of us Americans are being gaslit. I bet another rigged election happens. Now, this is a guy who has a lot of following saying something fucking completely irresponsible, right? Like that. And then we build all the way up to Trump. And it says, look, we caught her with a fake AI crowd. Now, that's the photo with a filter on it, right? Everything about Kamala is fake. He does another kind of rant-like post. I'll have to go find it. He does another kind of rant-like post. And this all started from this one picture. And I think that picture was released from the campaign. So then I'm just scrolling on TikTok today, minding my own fucking business. And this is Harry's TikTok page. And he does... Here you go. Here's the Trump one.
Trump is now claiming that the crowds at Kamala Harris's rallies are fake or AI. This guy is panicking. On Truth Social today, he put out this statement saying, has anyone noticed that Kamala cheated at the airport? There was nobody at the plane and she AI'd it. And it showed a massive crowd of so-called followers, but they didn't exist. He also said, look.
So there's the full post that he made. Has anyone noticed that Kamala cheated at the airport? There was nobody at the plane and she AI'd it and showed a massive crowd of so-called followers, but they didn't exist. She was turned in by a maintenance worker. So they claim that a maintenance worker came out and said, there was nobody there. There's also a video of J.D. Vance, Trump's vice president candidate, going to the plane and showing there's nobody around the Air Force Two plane. Like he walks around and sees Air Force Two and there's nobody there. Those are at 2 different locations. So the plane is parked in Wisconsin, just parked because she's going to a rally event. And the video is from Detroit, Michigan, right? And at Detroit, Michigan, the rally was at the airport. So the plane that J.D. Vance watches around and pretends there's nobody there, there wasn't supposed to be anybody there, right? They're at a rally event in Wisconsin. The video we're talking about is in Michigan. And it says, but they didn't exist. She was turned in by a maintenance worker at the airport when he noticed the fake crowd picture, but there was nobody there, confirmed by the reflection on the plane. The vice president something. She had nobody. We have 10,000 people. This is what they do. Democrats always cheat, basically is what he said.
It cheated at the airport. There was nobody at the plane and she AI'd it. And it showed a massive crowd of so-called followers, but they didn't exist. He also said, look, we caught her with a fake crowd. There was nobody there. He's just...
Yeah, I thought he was annoying too. At first I thought he was kind of annoying. Even though some of the stuff, most of the stuff he says is fucking accurate. I thought he was annoying. But I think I don't know if he's got a publicist or he matured or whatever, but I don't mind him as much now. I watch some of his videos.
Just so delusional, like off his rocker.
By the way, they always go live on TikTok and have huge fucking crowds. So I don't know. Maybe I should be streaming on TikTok more. I don't fucking know.
Pictures and videos from all of these rallies.
So this is a video, and there's multiple angles from this video.
Here's the one in Detroit, Michigan. Here's another angle of the crowd in Detroit, Michigan, the one that he's claiming is AI. And here's a video of that crowd in Detroit, Michigan. All of these folks came out to see VP.
So people are sharing this video and saying, I can't believe you think it's fake. Then other people are like, you don't think you can fake a video? Well, yeah, you can.
Tim Walz. Is this fake? Are they really trying to claim that this is fake? Seriously? What about this? What is this? Is this AI too?
I like Luke Beasley. He's funny.
So obviously, if you're a sane and logical person, regardless of your political beliefs, you can see that those crowds are not fake.
So I saw this, then I saw someone else sharing a post on Twitter from a guy we've covered before called the older millennial. And we go to the older millennials page, and I saw someone sharing his video basically. And in his video, he is responding to Harry, and it's this.
Trump is now claiming that the crowds at Kamala Harris's rallies are fake.
Why the fuck is her arm so long, Harry? This was at the most recent Kamala Harris rally. There she is right there.
This isn't the right video, but we'll watch this one too.
Why the fuck do her arms stretch like Mr. Fantastic? Her elbow is here.
Bro, that's a normal arm. Like, I understand, like, she's older, so she's got like some loose skin, but that's not an abnormal length for an arm.
Understand how long of a forearm that is. She may be a real person. She may have actually.
I don't think that's her elbow. I think her elbow's above that, and that's like where the skin fell down and dipped down or whatever.
Been sitting there. That is sure as fuck not her arm. If that is her arm. She is an alien, and we need the government to capture her. Let's take a quick.
By the way, this guy will fucking say anything. This guy will say anything to get a little bit of virality, right? To show up on your news feed.
Look at some of the other.
And he hates everything that Harry says. He has to say the exact opposite.
People in this picture. These two are very obviously green screened in here.
So these two guys are. Tell me why you would just green screen in two people.
This dude and this dude were not in this original picture. Also, what the fuck is going on with that dude's neck? Is his mother a giraffe? But more than anything, what the fuck is going on with this arm? You cannot tell me this is a real person. You cannot tell me this is a real arm. These are the pictures we're supposed to believe from the Kamala Harris rally. Do you see why we don't believe you?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I fucking, they're all real pitch. I don't know what to tell you.
Aliens, green screen people, and fucking giraffes at your rally.
If they were going to go so far as to AI crowds at their rallies, you don't think they'd have somebody look over the motherfucker and be like, oh, no. This arm's too long. This neck's too long. We got to fix it. You don't think they could hire an editor? Somebody in Photoshop to do it right? Anyways, this is the one I wanted to get to. Now, he makes a challenge here.
Crowd that Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz got in Detroit, Michigan.
All right, look, this is the last video I'm going to make on this topic. I actually want to make it really easy for Harry to be able to debunk me, as well as all the other conservative creators calling the event fake. Harry,
real easy to debunk him. He's going to make it super easy for us.
What you're saying is true. It would be so easy for you to prove this was a real event. So this was the original image you posted.
Yes, there's the original image. It does have a filter on it. I think it was probably to make the sky look better and shit in the background.
All seen this image, and we've all seen that video you showed. The problem is this image, as well as that video, have all come from the Harris campaign.
Wrong. They show 3 different camera images. One of them was from a bystander. One of them was from the campaign. One of them was from a media outlet.
And if you'd like to debunk all of us and make us all look stupid, all you got to do is give us the video of somebody in here. Bro,
just one person in the crowd?
There are thousands of people here. I mean, according to you. And according to this image, like hundreds of them, if not thousands of them, have their phones out and are recording. So why haven't we seen footage from any of...
You just want one person that's recording in the crowd. Just one person will do, right? To debunk all of y'all.
They are out on the tarmac. If they are this close, that means they got there early. That means they are super liberals. They are super supportive of Kamala Harris. Why the fuck have we not seen footage from any of their phones? So if you want to debunk us, it's really easy.
Oh, there's no footage from any of their phones on any social media?
These super liberals, at least some of them, got to be following you. Shit,
He's saying these people in the crowd that are down on the tarmac, he wants a video from the tarmac.
Probably know some of these people personally. If you want to prove all of us wrong, all you got to do is get the footage from one of these phones.
One of these folks.
Wildly enough, while we've seen the footage from the Harris campaign, while we've seen the pictures from the Harris campaign, we haven't seen the footage from anybody's phone in this crowd.
Really? Nobody posted that footage. Nobody.
None of these likely 500 to 1,000 people recording have put any of that footage up on TikTok, X, Facebook, Instagram.
Now, this is from 1 day ago, because that seems wild that thousands of people, you may be right.
That's a lot of people filming up close to the VP, and none of them decided to share that on social.
Oh my God, this is wild.
Odd. But there you go, Harry. You want to disprove us all? You want to show us all that this was a real crowd support presidential candidate? Find us the footage of somebody in this crowd. Show us somebody.
This is the guy that was making like the hedge fund thing for like working class, blue collar hedge fund investment thing.
Who was on this tarmac film.
Seemed like a scam.
Saw all this happen.
He was one of them.
Try not to have a.
Okay, so let's see how easy we can do this. Kamala Harris, Detroit. God damn it. Not the first fucking video, bro. God damn it, dude. Not the first search response. Not the first fucking video, bro. Bro, I didn't even put any qualifiers in. It was just her name and a city. But surely this is the only one. This has got to be the only one, right? God damn it. God damn it, dude. What is going on? Not as... oddly enough, these 500 or 1,000 people that are recording have not put up a single video on social... Not TikTok, not YouTube, not... God damn it, bro. Nothing fucking triggered it. She's a goddamn psycho. Bro, dude. You think they CGI'd in the fucking plane too? God damn it, bro. Jesus Christ, dude. There's no way he searched anything. I bet you on the day he posted the video, because this rally was such big news, if he would have just put in Kamala Harris, it would have come up. I made a video response to this. Now, of course, he's not going to respond. He's got a gigantic account, and I have nobody that follows me. But I made a response to it because this is clear misinformation, right? So here's the stitch.
All you got to do is get the footage from, if you want to prove all of us wrong, all you got to do is get the footage from one of these phones.
Just one. Okay. It took me like 10 seconds to find this video. Type in Kamala Harris Detroit on TikTok. There's literally thousands of them. What are you doing?
If you want to prove all of us wrong, all you got to do is get the...
Like, it couldn't be easier to find these. Kamala Harris, TikTok. Or Kamala Harris, Detroit, in TikTok. What? Like, so either he's just a goddamn retard with a huge, gigantic fucking account and tons of fucking Trump supporters. We can look at some more of his videos. I don't particularly care for him. And he's just caught up in all the hype or something. Or he's lying for a following. He's lying for a following. Here's some of his. So here's the scam we covered.
I want to create a middle-class hedge fund. I mean, it would be insanely easy to do, and I'm surprised nobody's done this yet. Like, let me ask all of you.
Where they couldn't tell us what their salaries were, what they'd be paid, how much money was coming in, what they do with the money, where they'd purchase, how they were going to help out, how they were going to rent them back to their followers, and how this is going to help them. Like, it was all a big scam.
How many of you would be willing to make a one-time investment of $500 with the opportunity?
I don't know if he's working with Harry. That would be really smart, I guess. They've actually, I think Harry even like went and sent him a cease and desist one time.
To not only make money,
But that would also be smart drama.
on Wall Street,
I need to get a super right-wing fucking person to argue with me all the time.
while also gaining the ability to take over companies throughout this country. I know I would. So look at it like this. Normally in a hedge fund, you have like 500 rich people who are each putting in $1 million apiece, giving that hedge fund a purchasing power of $500 million. Like, we could easily do that. Except instead of 500 people putting in $1 million each, we would just need 1 million people putting in 500 each. Like, there are 380 million people in this country. The vast majority of
Tell me that doesn't sound like a scam.
class. I don't think it would be hard to find 5 million people willing to put up $500 each, giving our middle class hedge fund purchasing power of $2.5 billion. At that point, we could keep the trading really simple. Like, we could just do whatever stock trades Nancy Pelosi does. According to all the statistics, she's a really good investor. You wonder why, right? Anyway, let's just say we followed her trade and did exactly what she did in December. She invested in Nvidia, and after her purchase, the stock price went up 22%. Obviously, we're not going to risk all the money on a single trade, but let's just say we followed what she did and we put in $1 billion. We would have made 220. All right, so let's talk about.
Yeah, he gets paid. I mean, every video, every engagement, everything pays.
About old Ray Gun here. I'm not going to talk about how shit her breakdancing was. I'm not going to do like most people on the internet are doing and just shitting all over her. Even if that fucking kangaroo / velociraptor pose is just ridiculous. See, this is a perfect example of why education never beats experience. This is why argument from authority is the dumbest thing in the world. Because this
Johnny, these your people?
This woman has a PhD in breakdancing. She's literally a college professor that teaches the culture of breakdancing, but she can't fucking breakdance.
Have you guys seen? I'm sure you guys have seen this, right? This breakdance is Australia.
Literally did 3 different routines and received a total of 0 points. 3 dances, 0 points. Let me just tell you right now that when that lady came out and said, this is the best breakdancer Australia has on the female side, bullshit. Because they had qualifying matches. And we can go back and watch the
It
qualifying.
reminds me of that woman that's in the 80s video in the Windbreaker where she's like, pop, pop, pop. That's what hip hop is. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Matches, and she sure as fuck wasn't the best one. So the question is, does she get put in that position because she has a degree in breakdancing, or does she have a connection to the Australian government? Does she have connections that got her spot at the Olympics? Because her breakdancing
We'd do like Atsuko. This is Johnny's cousin.
did not get her spot. But regardless of the reasons why she was there, Australia, do me a favor and shut the fuck up about the Olympics. Because I think it would be better if not a...
No, it's not a joke.
Hey, let's all congratulate Kamala Harris on...
We'll grab it. Hold on. In cultural studies, that makes a lot more sense. Here she is. It was bad.
Round 1.
So this is the U.S. breakdancer, I guess. I don't think any of these songs should be copywritten. They're just like beats.
You have to note Victor's pace. He's like a boxer. So many jabs.
Victor reinventing his style. Last time I spoke to him, he's saying he's working,
So this is what the U.S. competitor looked like.
and he's definitely displaying it right now on this first round.
Okay, there's some breakdancing. And there's... Oh. Pop, lock, and drop it. You guys know what I'm talking about? Hold on. There is a YouTube video that is oh shit. White lady teaches, I can't type. I'm hitting all the keys. I got fat fingers. Teaches hip hop. This girl, this is who she reminds me of.
Def Jam.
Here it is.
Okay.
Cut it.
Hey, I'm Dina. Look at my feet. My feet are straight ahead. You don't want to do that. You want to turn your feet out. I'm going to do this backwards. And that's what makes it look like hip hop. What this is with hip hop is everything's down low. It all is in a plie. I think the first thing that you need to know about hip hop, it's all about your posture. And you know, growing up, my posture.
It almost makes me seem like she did just terrible enough. Like she knew she wasn't gonna win, but if she does terrible enough, she'll be viral.
Was really bad. My mom used to tell me all the time, stand up straight, stand up straight. Well, you know what? I was standing up straight. And hip hop is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, hit, ah, and ah. The more relaxed you are, that's what makes it hip hop. This is the first thing I'm going to say to you. You want to do hip hop? You got to stand like this. In a hip hop head, we have this. Boom, bam, every time.
Boom, bam.
Or Your hands are always like this. Start out just hitting it, hitting it, hitting it. This is what we call popping.
Doesn't she remind you of this lady?
Straight.
Straight.
I went to this club, right?
That's what we call popping it.
They had no baggy pants and no sneakers. That was wild. I didn't know what to think about that. I took some of this from an African piece. In the African piece, it was like this, but in hip hop, it's like this. See, there's a
She
difference.
just opened her hands. So the African piece was like this, but in hip hop, it's like this. That's all she did.
This is me. This is how I am. This is a lifestyle. This is it. I'm into points a lot, but they're not your average points.
They're hip hop points.
People ask me all the time, what are you going to do when hip hop goes out? Hip hop is an attitude. It's right here. It's how you feel. It's a style. So it can go out. Hit, flex foot, bent back. It's all in your attitude. It's right here in your faces and how you dress. It's the way you look. I want to tell you another thing that makes hip hop hip hop.
That might be her. She might have moved to Australia. Are we sure?
I do this at the end of class, every class. I hit here, and I hit here, hit here. Sometimes I vary it. I'll give them a ba. They look at me like I'm crazy, but then they know this right here is me. And then I give them the peace. I'm out.
Peace to my homies. I'm out. So that's who it reminds me of. It's so fun. She's just scooting along the floor, dragging her head. Oh. What the toe touches, bro? I shouldn't. Maybe she's trying probably pretty hard, right?
We are learning, we are watching, we are enjoying.
What'd she say?
We're not fully understanding, but we are listening, we are learning, we are watching, we are enjoying.
Someone said, I feel strongly that Australia just pulled a volunteer from their Australia house this morning and said, you're an Olympian now. Like it was one of them that was supposed to like do the catering for their Australian teams. They're like, we got to enter into one more contest. What can we do? Breakdancing. It's you.
I'm a star.
Oh no. Oh, she yawning at her? She's yawning at her competition? Oh, getting warmed up. Here we go. Bop, 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 bop. Hip hop is like this. Peace to my homies. It's pretty rough. So you're saying after a bottle of wine, I could be an Olympian? What is the snake thing? What? I can't believe she yawned at a competitor and then did this. So, like, when I watch breakdancing, I think the thing that makes it kind of, like, cool is, like, there's no way I could fucking do that. Like, there's no way I could fucking spin on my head or, like, fucking jump up like that and land like this. But when she does it, it's like, oh, I could do that. Like, I could do, like, a quarter turn on my head and fall over. Yeah, for sure. Uh-huh. Oh, the sprinkler. It's like a cringy soccer mom trying to act cool with her kids when the music comes on. Like an SNL skit with Tina Fey.
Reagan giving us some interesting transitions.
She didn't want to put that snake down.
Breakdancing will not be at the next Summer Olympics in 2028, and can you really blame them? Because this is the foolishness that we had to watch in Paris. We really had to watch a 36-year-old Australian doctor who has a PhD in breakdancing, by the way, do the kangaroo hop. Are you serious? She has a PhD in breakdancing and hit the sprinkler. She hit the sprinkler. She was swimming on stage. Oh my God. Her name being Rachel Gunn, B-girl named Ray Dunn, she went more viral than the people that were actually good.
She holds a PhD in cultural science. Whoever said that in chat earlier was right.
And then she posted this on her Instagram, looking forward to the same level.
Cultural sciences.
Where tomorrow, I don't think people were just
She researches and lectures on cultural politics of breakdancing. She's an Olympian breaker competing for Australia. She lost all 3 of her matches against the big girls named Nika, Sissy, and Logistics. Yes, that sentence is accurate. But Ray Gunn had some moves, and people had some thoughts. My nephew does what my nephew does after telling all of us, watch this. There has not been an Olympic performance this dominant since Usain Bolt's 100-meter sprint at Beijing in 2008. Honestly, the moment Ray Gunn broke out her kangaroo move, this competition was over. Give her the breakdancing gold. All I can think about when I see this is that teacher from, oh, shit, you guys probably haven't seen this. You guys watch Bob's Burgers? The breakdancing teacher from Bob's Burgers. Hold on. Yeah, she definitely went viral. That's for sure.
Class with Shelly. See the way I'm walking with one of my arms lower than the other and my foot dragged?
So this is making fun of that video we just watched.
Well, that's hip-hop.
Oh my God. Oh, that's hip-hop.
The other day I was in the grocery store buying some light bulbs and ice cream, and I could tell the cashier didn't like my baggy pants. But I didn't care, because that's hip-hop. Welcome to hip-hop dance class with Shelly.
You for your outfit choice, but go off, sis. However, y'all, Ray Gunn may have a chance to redeem herself in the future, because even though breaking isn't included on the 2028 Olympic schedule in Los Angeles, the World Dance Sport Federation is working on getting it added to the Olympics in 2032, which will be held in Brisbane, Australia.
What was her score?
To get it together, please send your best fighters this time, and I better not see any.
I'd like to personally thank Ray Gunn for making millions of people worldwide think, maybe I can make Olympics too. When Ray Gunn hit the kangaroo, I couldn't see the screen. I was crying so hard. I think Ray Gunn found her source of inspiration for the breakdancing at the Olympics. That's what this is. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Ray Gunn did the sprinkler, this breakdance thing. This is the worst thing Australia has ever done to the rest of the world. Oh, this is the worst thing Australia's ever done to the rest of the world. I believe it. Kangaroo, bro.
Anybody bust out the kangaroo jack? Breakdancing.
That's how she qualified. It kind of looks like she's just making it up, maybe. Like, there's no way she practiced all this and thought, yep, that's it. That's my Olympic routine.
36-year-old Australian breakdancer Rachel Gunn is everywhere right now. For her viral last place performance at this year's first ever Olympic breakdancing event.
Hi, I'm Renata Bliss, and I'm your freestyle dance teacher.
What was the dragging her head thing?
Rachel is that she's a college professor with a PhD in the cultural studies of breakdancing.
There you go. Cultural science.
Dr. Rachel Gunn is a lecturer at Sydney's Macquarie Uni.
Everyone, we're in week 7 now. Portfolio 1 due at the end of this week. Somehow they'll see me something on TV.
I don't think so. Like, I've seen the same breakdancers do basically the same routines.
Or something on Instagram, and they'll go, wait, is this you?
Hip hop is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, hit. Ah.
Homer Simpson. Bro. Sorry. All right, we can move on. We can move on. What's the temperatures like? 76, boys. We're doing good. We're hanging in there. What else we got? What else we got? This video was just funny. You want to see this video? Hold on. Let me close some of these tabs. This video just had me laughing. It's pretty funny.
Costume to bed instead of jammies.
So it's pajama day at their school, and one daughter wanted to wear a costume instead of pajamas, but it looks like pajamas, right? It's like a dress. So it looks like pajamas, right? It's an Elsa dress.
So she picked out Elsa because it's kind of like jammies and looks comfy. Nora wanted a costume too. She's a hot dog. Okay, Lucy Joe wanted to wear a costume to bed instead of jammies. So she picked out Elsa because it's kind of like jammies and looks comfy. Nora wanted a costume too. She's a hot dog.
Even the dad is like losing it,
Lucy
dude.
Joe wanted to wear a costume to bed instead of jammies. So she picked out Elsa because it's kind of like jammies and looks comfy. Nora wanted a costume too.
That's pretty funny. All right, check out this video. You guys tell me if I'm losing it. But this is supposed to be J.D. Vance, different years and what his net worth is. Was J.D. Vance a different person in 2020? Watch this video. Year and net worth. All right, so 2016, he's 31 and worth $1 million. Okay, that's where we're starting. Now just wait for 2020. This blew my fucking mind, and no one mentioned it in the comments. 2017, more eyeliner. 2018, 2019. Who the fuck is that, dude? Who the fuck is that? Bro! 2020, he just took off. And they just got some guy that kind of looks like him. No one mentioned this in the comments. I have no... Who is that? We're going to start it over. Fuck it.
Kiss me
heart before you go. Summertime sadness. I just wanted you to know that baby, you look good.
Who is that?
I got my red.
He's back to being JD Vance.
Dancing in the dark.
Like he went on an extended vacation. They had to get somebody to step in for him. He's 100% wearing eyeliner. Like he even brings it out and does like the little fucking whatever you call them out here on the corners. 100% wearing eyeliner. Dude, is that not a different fucking person? No one mentioned it in the fucking comments. I'm like, the comments have to be full of like, dude, that who the fuck was that in 2020? Nobody. One more time.
Kiss me up before you go. Summertime sadness. I just wanted you to know that baby.
That's a different guy, dude. That is a gift. That who the fuck is that? Anyways, check out. Here's you want to do some dramatic reading. This one's actually pretty fucked up though. Here's some dramatic reading, guys. From courtesy of Facebook. No, dude, did they take it down? Fuck. Let me see if I can get it with a different page. Damn, it was so good too. Let me go back to my personal page. Let me see right quick. Dude, it was this person that was somewhere, Lily Fields or somewhere. And I guess somebody was camping on a piece of land they bought, and they had a fucking, it was like probably somewhere super rural, probably somewhere in the South. They had a fucking, they had a big banner on the side of their like utility trailer that said Kamala Harris 2024 or something. And the comments were fucking insane, dude. Insane. Like, sounds like a good time to round those people up. They don't know who they're messing with. We hang people like that around here. Oh, I bet they're black. Stupid monkey. Like, it was just crazy. Crazy. The comments that were surrounding that. It looks like they deleted it. It was like on a little community page. Yeah, they deleted the post. Fuck. I should have took screenshots of it. I knew I should have, but I was busy. Content isn't available. They finally took it down. I guess this group that shared it probably rated them. All right. All for wearing all for having this banner and just being in the wrong fucking town, I guess. Like they were pretty fucking insane. Then I sent myself a couple that I didn't really name, so let's see what these are.
Hey friends, it's Desi back with another installment of Republican Beauty Trends. Y'all have been flooding my DMs to talk about JD Vance and his fierce eye makeup, so let's get into it. As a reminder, I am not a makeup expert or even someone who really regularly washes her face. Now, if we look closely, we can see that Vance...
The only way that I know he's wearing eyeliner is because there are times he isn't wearing it. Like older videos where he's not wearing it. He didn't just develop like this dark fucking edge of his lower eyelid. He's wearing eyeliner, 100%.
Vance has lined the inner corner of his eyes with a dark black. That could be to make his baby blues pop, or it could be to reflect the dark black.
Oh shit, thank you for the donation. Donation just come through. I appreciate it. I just saw the email.
Part of his soul that hates childless women. His eyeliner is clearly an all-day wear, from the Senate floor to CNN. So I'm gonna guess he's using either Maybelline Eye Stick in the shade Faux Hillbilly.
2 donations. One come last night from John, thank you. And then one from Q Idiot. I appreciate it.
Or Revlon Super Smudge in the shade Business Ewok.
What's you call him? Business Ewok.
Floor to CNN. So I'm gonna guess he's using either Maybelline Eye Stick in the shade Faux Hillbilly or
Faux Hillbilly.
Revlon Super Smudge in the shade Business Ewok. If I were Vance, I would actually recommend putting the liner under the waterline to create more of a doe-eyed look. But with this technique, he's serving more of an eye.
Bro, look at that. Look at that.
support mass deportations vibe. Overall, Vance looks very
mass deportations vibe
with his eye makeup. And while it won't earn my vote, it is sure to attract tech bros on Molly at a Silicon Valley fundraiser. Like and subscribe for more.
And then there's another guy. This guy is fucking hilarious. I want you all to go follow him. Maybe I could fucking interview him or something one day. But either way, you should follow him. This guy does. So he was talking the other day about how JD Vance is so unlikable. So then he started doing a series. Like he's just, he's like, so JD Vance is so awkward. So now he's doing a series if JD Vance did stand-up comedy. Watch this.
Hey, you guys ever put too much pepper on your potato salad? This guy knows what I'm talking about. You ever hear a song on the radio and you're like, wait a minute. Hey, you guys ever water the grass and you're like, here we go again. You guys ever burn your toast and you're like, here we go again.
Everything's racist, you know? Drink a Diet Mountain Dew, they'll probably say that's racist. You know what I'm saying?
Sir, you are laughing so hard right now. Guys, he is laughing so hard right now. Sir, you need to calm down.
So this is some guy Mark over on TikTok. You should follow him. But he's doing the JD Vance comedy. He's got the scruff beard on. Let me see if I can find what the first one was. This one, maybe? Is that the one we just watched? This might be the first one.
Mr. Vance, why would people want to have a drink with you? Well,
have you wait. Have you seen this actual response? Hold on. JD Vance asked drink with you. Let me show you the actual response first. This is the most like unhuman thing. Like I know he didn't come from money, but maybe he forgot what it was like to be poor. Well, I do have beer now and then, sometimes more than just watch.
People who have the right to be here, sir.
I don't know if you saw, but there's a poll from Marquette University that came out earlier today. It shows a virtual tie between former President Trump and Vice President Harris. There's an old
Thank you, Jessa. That's his link.
What can swing undecided voters in a place like Wisconsin?
So what can swing there's an old saying, what can swing undecided voters in a place like Wisconsin is somebody they could see themselves having a beer with. Why would someone have a beer with you?
Is whether you seem like somebody they would like to have a beer with.
Yeah.
Why would people in Wisconsin want to have a beer with you?
Well, I guess they'd want to have a beer with me because I actually do like to drink beer, and I probably like to drink beer a little bit too much, but that's okay. I'm sure the media won't give me too much crap over that. But look, I mean, my
They're not asking if you like beer, bro. They're saying what makes you relatable. Well, I do actually drink beer, sometimes too much. The media hates that. Now watch, now watch the comedian do it. Where are we at? Here, maybe? Yeah, Mark. All right, here we go. Now he's going to do it.
Mr. Vance, why would people want to have a drink with you? Well, I guess I do have a mouth and to consume human beverages.
Brett Kavanaugh. Dude. It's so awkward. I saw a news article saying his wife was jealous of his lashes. She didn't say shit about his eye makeup. He's definitely wearing eyeliner. You can't explain the times that he doesn't have fucking eyeliner on without eyeliner.
Hey, you guys ever put too...
All right, we're going the other way. There's another one here.
Hey, bartender, vodka, neat.
Actually, no, it's not. Did you know that every day 5,000 people die from doing alcohol?
Uh-oh.
Let me tell you a story about a young man who wanted to try alcohol, but he was too young to buy it. So he went on the worldwide internet and typed in www.crime.com to try to find someone to buy it for him. 23 minutes later, a SWAT team raided his house and arrested him immediately.
The audio isn't muted. He was just staring into the camera silently because it's awkward.
The judge sentenced him to 25 years in prison for intent to alcohol. When he finally was released, he emerged a broken man. To soothe his pain, he drank just one alcohol and he died 10 minutes later. The date? September 11th, 2001.
Oh no.
Don't do alcohol.
Dude, have you been seeing the September 11th trend?
Time of death, 9:22 a.m.
It's bad, but it's funny. God damn, it's funny.
I told my gal I was gonna quit. But I just can't seem to let this one go. Don't you dare get out of that chair, slime ball. You and me are gonna have a conversation.
That's pretty funny. So there's a new trend, a September 11th, a 9/11 trend. Oh, this is another JD Vance one. Hold on. You're at a concert with JD Vance. Uh-oh.
I love human music.
Oh, shit. I love human music. So there's this new trend, and you don't know it's a September 11 or 9/11 video, right? So what's going on is like they're doing like a flashback. It's like me in 2023, me in 2016, me in, and then it says me in 2020. Oh, it's bad. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I know I've seen some of them. I might just have to clip one next time. It's like a transformation video, like how good I am now or how much weight I've lost or whatever. And then it always goes back to me on 9/11 or September 2001, and it's just them screaming, "Oh no, they hit the South Tower!" Like it's just it's crazy. It's out there for sure. Pretty wild. I think the fan is going to hold up to the cooler gets here tomorrow. 76.8, boys. 76.8. Me. Maybe that. September 11th, 1-to-1 people in New York that we're going to have our first black president. Damn it. Damn it. Anyways, it was a pretty funny video. I don't think we're gonna find it. What else? Trump's been hacked. The great hackening. I think it was. So all the videos from the Heritage Foundation are out. They did a. It's from Politico. They're pretty bad, but it's like 14 hours of shit. The secret training videos. It says Project 2025, the controversial playbook and policy agenda for right-wing presidential administration, has lost its director and faced scathing criticism from both Democratic groups and the former President Donald Trump. But Project 2025 planned to train an army of political appointees who could battle against the so-called deep state government bureaucracy on behalf of a future Trump administration remains on track. One centerpiece of that program is dozens of never-before published videos created for Project 2025's Presidential Administration Academy. The vast majority of these videos, 23 in all, totaling more than 14 hours of content, they're all about 30 minutes each, were provided to ProPublica and documented by a person who had access to them. The Project 2025 videos coach future appointees on everything from the nuts and bolts of governing to how to outwit bureaucrats. There are strategies for avoiding embarrassing Freedom of Information Act disclosures and ensuring that conservative policies aren't struck down by left-wing judges. Some of that content is routine advice that any incoming political appointee might be told. Other segments of the training offer guidance on radically changing how the federal government works and what it does. In one video, Bethany Cosma, a conservative activist and former deputy chief of staff at the U.S. Agency for International Development in the Trump administration, downplays the seriousness of climate change and says the movement to combat it is really part of the ploy to control people. If the American people elect conservative president, his administration will have to eradicate climate change references from absolutely everywhere, Cosma says. In the same video, Cosma calls the idea of gender fluidity evil. Another speaker, Katie Sullivan, who was an acting assistant attorney general at the Department of Justice under Trump, takes aim at executive actions by the administration of President Joe Biden that created gender advisor positions throughout the federal government. The goal, Biden wrote in one order, was to advance equal rights and opportunities regardless of gender or gender identity. Sullivan says that position has to be eradicated as well as the task forces, the removal of all equity plans from all websites, and complete rework of the language of internal and external policy documents and grant applications. Trump has tried to distance himself from Project 2025, falsely saying that he knew nothing about it and had no idea who was behind it. In fact, he flew on a private jet with Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, which leads Project 2025. And in the 2022 speech of the Heritage Foundation, Trump said, "This is a great group, and they're going to lay the groundwork and detail plans for exactly what our movement will do and what your movement will do when the American people give us a colossal mandate to save America." A review of the training videos shows that 29 of the 36 speakers have worked for Trump in some capacity. 30 out of 36 speakers, 29 out of 36 speakers have worked for Trump in some capacity. I have no idea who is that. The guy was on my private flight with me. We talked for 2 hours. Who is? I've never heard of him. On his 2016-2017 transition team, the administration, or on his 2024 re-election campaign, the video appears to have been recorded before the resignation 2 weeks ago. Paul Dans, the leader of Project 2025, and they are referenced on the project's website. The Heritage Foundation said in a statement at the time of Dan's resignation that it would end Project 2025's policy-related work, but that its collective efforts to build personal apparatus for policymakers of all levels, federal, state, and local, will continue. The Heritage Foundation and most of the people who appear in the videos cited in this story did not respond to ProPublica's repeated requests for comment. Carolyn Levitt, a spokesperson for the Trump campaign who features in one of the videos, said, as our campaign leadership and President Trump have repeatedly stated, Agenda 47 is the only official policy official policy agenda, I don't even know why I was trying to say position, from our campaign. Project 2025's 887-page Mandate for Leadership document lays out a vast array of policy and governance proposals, including eliminating the Department of Education, slashing Medicaid, and reclassifying tens of thousands of career civil servants so they could be more easily fired and replaced, giving the president greater power to control the Department of Justice and future restricting abortion access, which is wild. Medicaid is for what goes out to poor people, right? Medicare is like for the elderly and retired, and Social Security. Medicaid is, because it's got aid in it, is the way I remember it, is for people who don't make enough. Democrats and liberal groups have criticized the project's policy agenda as extreme and authoritarian, while pointing out that many connections between Trump and the hundreds of people who contributed to the project. Trump's attempts to distance himself from Project 2025 have always been disingenuous, said Noah Bookbinder, president of the watchdog group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington. The discovery that the vast majority of speakers in Project 2025 training videos are alumni of Trump administration or even have close ties to Trump's political operation is unsurprising, further evidence of the close connection there. Several speakers in the video acknowledge that the Trump administration was slowed by staffing challenges and the inexperience of his political appointees, and they offer lessons learned from their stumbles. Some of the advice appears at odds with conservative dogma, including suggesting that the next administration may need to expand key government agencies to achieve the larger goal of slashing federal regulations. Rick Dearborn, who helped lead Trump's 2016 transition team and later served in the Trump White House as deputy chief of staff, recalled in one video how tough it was to find people to fill all the key positions in the early days of the administration. The personnel part of Project 2025 is so important to the next position, Dearborn says. Establishing all of this, providing the expertise, looking at a database of folks that can be part of the administration, talking to you like we are right now about what is a transition about. Why do I want to be engaged in it? What would my role be? That's luxury that we didn't have, referring to a database of potential political appointees. Dan Huff, a former legal advisor in the White House Presidential Personnel Office under Trump, says in another video that future appointees should be prepared to enact significant changes in American government and be ready to face blowback when they do. So they know they're going against not only Democrats, but also some of their own believers, right? Some of their own supporters. Most Republicans say they want a smaller government. Why would we be expanding some forms of government to slash other parts of the government? It's kind of weird. If you're not on board with helping implement a dramatic course correction because you're afraid it'll damage your future employment prospects, it'll harm you socially. Look, I get it, Huff says. There's a real danger. It's a real thing, but please do us all a favor and sit this one out. So they know they're going to be making these dramatic changes that could potentially never get you hired again. But they push through it. Eradicate climate change references.
What do you think about all of
this is their training videos, by the way,
and definitions in the environment?
It's a great point, Katie. They don't stop. Climate change allegedly is everywhere. And if the American people elect a conservative president, his administration will have to eradicate climate change references from absolutely everywhere.
I never thought there was that climate. The climate's obviously changing. We can see it. Like I knew there were people that were. Like how much does humans affect? How much did humans affect this? And how much can the U.S. actually control it when other countries are not even attempting to control it, like China and other countries? But I never thought there were people that were just like, it's not happening at all.
His administration will have to eradicate climate change references from absolutely everywhere. And according to our intelligence community, the number one threat—
The Handmaid's Tale, that's right.
Drumroll, climate change. Not Russia, not China, not AI, climate change. This shows how the federal government is all in on this issue. And climate change activists wield a lot of power. This is an issue to pay attention to as it has infiltrated every part of the federal government. Now, when I think of climate change, I immediately think of population control, don't you? I think about the
What?
people who don't want you to have children because of the impact on the environment. Perhaps not everyone will make that connection, but after spending time in the international space trying to protect life, I can tell you that this is part of their ultimate.
So you can graph this, you can chart this. Statistically, we're rising in temperature. Now, there are people that argue that it's a natural phenomenon or that we haven't had that much of an impact on it. I personally think, obviously, it seems to trend like when human and the Industrial Revolution, it went up. But there's also people that argue, like, why would we do this to ourselves when China's not going to jump up, Russia's not going to do it, and they produce most of the, the greenhouse gases and shit anyways. Like, those are all arguments I think people can still have. You might be wrong about it, but you can still have those arguments. But to say that it doesn't fucking happen at all and it's population control is just wild to me.
Don't want you to have children because of the impact on the environment. Perhaps not everyone will make that connection, but after spending time in the international space trying to protect life, I can tell you that this is part of their ultimate goal, to control people.
To control people. Later in the video, Katie Sullivan, the former acting assistant attorney general under Trump, advocates for removing so-called critical race theory from public education without saying how the federal government would accomplish that. Elementary and secondary education curricula are typically set at the state levels, state and local levels, not by federal government. The noxious tenets of critical race theory and gender ideology should be excised from curriculum in every single public school in this country, Sullivan says. Reached by phone, Sullivan told ProPublica to contact her press representative and hung up. A representative did not respond. In a different video, David Burton, an economic policymaker at the Heritage Foundation, discusses the importance of an obscure yet influential agency called the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs. The Trump administration used OIRA to help roll back regulations on economic, fiscal, and environmental issues. Under Biden, Aura took a more aggressive stance in helping review and shape new regulations, which included efforts to combat housing discrimination, ban the sale of so-called ghost guns, and set new renewable fuel targets. Burton, in the Project 2025 video, urges future political appointees to work with Aura and argues that the office should increase its staffing levels considerably in service of this conservative goal of reining in the so-called administrative state, namely the federal agencies that craft and issue new regulations. 50 people are not enough to adequately policy the regulatory actions of the entire federal government, Burton says. Aura is one of the few government agencies that limits the regulatory ambitions of other agencies. Burton confirmed in a brief interview that he appeared in the video and endorsed expanding Aura's staffing levels. Expanding the federal workforce, even an office tasked with scrutinizing regulations, would seem to cut against the conservative movement's long-standing goal of shrinking government. For anyone confused by Project 2025's insistence that a conservative president should fill all appointee slots and potentially grow certain functions, Spencer Sheraton, a former Trump White House aide who is now Project 2025's associate director, addresses attention in one video. Some on the right even say that because we believe in small government, should just lead by example and not fill certain political positions. Sheridan says, I suggest that it would be almost impossible to bring any conservative change to America if the president did that. Damn.
Now, in terms of a survival tip, do not let career bureaucrats hinder you from advancing the president's agenda. Keep in mind, you're coming into a place, Washington, D.C., that does not share your conservative values. They're even hostile to it because you're here to do something that's not in their interest. They're not going to be your friend, and they're not going to help you succeed. What are you doing? You're here to cut government?
The Handmaid's Tale reminds you a lot. So basically, if you haven't seen it, the premise of the show is only some people can get pregnant. So they treat them like pregnancy most people have lost their ability to get pregnant, so they keep like sex slaves, like birthing slaves. But it's a very right-wing authoritarian, back in the day, taking women's rights away kind of thing.
You're here to cut spending.
I've watched it all, but it's been years since I've seen it.
Cut regulations. You're here to stop the waste, fraud, and abuse that's going on. But a lot of careers have been made from that. A lot of money has been made from that. Fiefdoms have been built around it. So you're going to get a lot of opposition here. It's an entire industry of opposition from lobbyists, professional associations, contractor groups, and disappointingly, faith-based organizations.
Eric Prince, the Blackwater guy, is that what you're talking about? It's last season out in 2025. Oh, I didn't even know it was still going on. I thought I'd watched all of them. And it's been years since I've watched it. So if they've been making seasons, I'm probably way behind, I guess. I don't know. Shit's getting wild. And then someone said that Trump has been hacked. I saw this earlier. And a bunch of shit. We received internal documents from Robert, then the campaign. We received internal Trump documents from Robert, then the campaign confirmed it was a hack. The campaign suggested Iran was to blame. Politico has not independently verified that any of the hacker or their motive. Former President Trump's campaign said Saturday that some of its internal communications had been hacked. The acknowledgement came after Politico began receiving emails from an anonymous account with documents from inside Trump's operation. The campaign blamed foreign sources hostile to the United States, citing a Microsoft report on Friday that Iranian hackers sent a spear phishing email in June to high-ranking official of the presidential campaign. Microsoft did not identify the campaign targeted by the email and declined to comment Saturday. So Microsoft said there was a spear phishing, but it doesn't. It just says presidential campaign. It didn't say left or right. Politico has not independently verified that any of the hacker or their motive, and a Trump campaign spokesperson, Stephen Chung, declined to say if they had further information substantiating the claim, suggesting that it was targeted by Iran. These documents were obtained illegally from foreign sources hostile to the United States, intended to interfere with the 2024 election and sow chaos throughout the democratic process, Chung said. On Friday, a new report from Microsoft found that Iranian hackers broke. He loved it when they were doing it to Hillary, didn't he? I love you hear this place called WikiLeaks. You've heard of it, right? WikiLeaks. They leak the wikis. And I love the WikiLeaks. On Friday, a new report from Microsoft found that Iranian hackers broke into the account of a high-ranking official on the U.S. presidential campaign in June 2024, which coincides with close timing of President Trump's selection of vice presidential nominee. Chung declined to say whether the campaign had been in contact with Microsoft or law enforcement about the breach, saying it would not discuss such conversations. July 22nd, Politico began receiving emails from an anonymous account. Over the course of the past few weeks, the person who used an AOL email account identified themselves only as Robert relayed what appeared to be internal communications from a senior Trump official. A research dossier the campaign had apparently done on Trump's running mate, Ohio Senator J.D. Vance, which was dated February 23rd, was included in the documents. The documents are authentic, according to the two people familiar with them, and granted anonymity to describe internal communications. One of the people described the dossier as a preliminary version of Vance's vetting file. The research dossier was a 271-page document based on publicly available information about Vance's past record and statements, with some, such as his past criticisms of Trump, identified in the document as potential vulnerabilities. The person also sent part of the research document about Florida Senator Marco Rubio, who was also a finalist for the vice presidential nominee. The person said they had a variety of documents, Trump's legal and court documents, to internal campaign discussions. Asked how they obtained the documents, the person responded, "I suggest you don't be curious about where I got them from. Any answer to this question will compromise me and also legally restricts you from publishing them." The scope of the information obtained by the hacker is unclear, but it represents a major security breach for Trump's campaign. Last month, reports emerged of the U.S. intelligence community receiving increasing evidence suggesting Iran was working on plots to kill Trump in retaliation for his decision to order the assassination of Iranian military officer Soleimani. So the Soleimani was a drone strike that killed some other people, but Soleimani was a big guy in the Iranian military. Honestly, Trump probably brings more vitriol that might lead us into another war with just his past stuff that he's done than I would say Biden, or I'd say Kamala does. There's no indication that the shooter who targeted Trump at the rally last month was connected to the plot. In his statement Saturday, but they have seen glaring, if they do have like some type of asset here, they've seen glaring issues with the Secret Service and ways they could probably slip in, especially once this report comes out. In his statement Saturday, Chang pointed to those reports saying the Iranians know the president will stop their reign of terror just like he did in the first 4 years of the White House. That's not what they're saying. They're saying they want revenge for Soleimani, and they promised revenge for Soleimani. Iranian government officials could not immediately be reached for comment. In 2016, the top Democratic Party officials were hacked ahead of the presidential election. The breach resulted in the leak of embarrassing emails documenting the inner workings of the party and former Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton's campaign. National security officials later blamed Russia for orchestrating the hacking effort. Many of those emails were later disseminated to WikiLeaks, a website that publishes leaked documents, and were published in the run-up to Election Day with an eye towards embarrassing Clinton's political operation. In 2017, the Justice Department launched an investigation of Russian interference into the election and what role Trump associates played in the hacking effort. Special counsel Robert Mueller ultimately concluded he lacked sufficient evidence to seek criminal charges against Trump or his campaign for allegedly conspiring with the Russians. However, this is what people don't understand about the Mueller report. The Mueller report was a scathing fucking review of Trump. Like, yeah, there wasn't enough to go for criminal charges, but all the fucking ties that were around to it, like, it was fucking eye-opening if you've never read it. Maybe we'll read it on stream. However, he described Trump campaign that encouraged the hack, was eager to capitalize on the materials, and he described significant efforts by Trump and some allies that hampered investigators' ability to obtain key communications and testimony that might have shed more light on the matter. So they were definitely hiding shit. If you're completely innocent and you had nothing to do with it, you just turn over your shit and say, here, tell everybody I'm innocent. It doesn't seem like they published them, but it seems like it was hacked and they got them. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will end up leaking it. I wonder if this was part of it. I wonder if this was in the dossier. So this photo just resurfaced. This is him in drag, probably for a party or something, but still. It's kind of funny that they're always talking about these crazy people. And we got Trump and Giuliani in drag together. And we got J.D. Vance in drag. It's always the Republican senators that have this weird fucking gay fetish that all comes out. The same eyeliner. Tell me it ain't eyeliner. Or it's just his eyes set really far back in his head. Okay. Okay. I think it's funny. You do you guys. We covered the millennial. What is this? Oh, that was Harry Sisson, right? Garland has just landed DC wearing Team USA jacket. That is awesome. Damn it. It's all the break dancers. What would it be like to have a beer with him?
The reason I'm doing this, and the reason I think Donald Trump is doing this, and I think the media often slanders him, but I've never met a guy who likes normal people more than Donald Trump. I've never met a guy who, when he's got a big decision to make,
Do you think that Donald Trump likes normal people more than anybody else in the world?
he will solicit feedback from every single person all over the country. It's funny, when he was actually thinking about who was going to be his vice presidential running mate, I met with him actually the morning of the attempted assassination. I believe it was Saturday morning. And he said, you know, JD, everybody's asking me what I am going to do for VP, and I'm asking everybody. He said, in fact, this morning, I talked to the gardener at Mar-a-Lago. And I said, well, sir, what did the Mar-a-Lago gardener say? Right? This bears directly on my life. I'm very curious here. And look, I'm very much the same way. I mean, I like the people of this country.
I think Trump loves the worship. I think he likes to feel powerful. He likes to hear stories about people like, oh, I pray to God every night, this, and this. I love you so much. I can't, especially if he hears something like, I was a lifelong Democrat, or I was never involved in politics. You brought me out. I just knew when I saw you coming down that escalator. He loves that.
I like people who by the rules. I like people.
Trump asked his gardener, who do you think I should pick for vice president?
Who just want to take their kids to a ball game or invest in their community or spend a little time watching.
Here's the question. There's all kinds of, like, there was a video that the day the Harris campaign went to, the day before the Harris campaign went to tell J.D. Vance that they were picking him for whatever, the vice president nominee. He was just outside shooting basketball with his kid. Like, and you could tell it was a stage because it was behind like two fences. They just had to open the right way to where you could see him. Like, it was hidden, or should have been hidden where he was at. How many times you ever see Trump out? Just, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know.
TV and making the things that actually make this country work.
I've hardly ever seen him laugh, ever.
They do it, and they do it right here in this factory, and the people behind me do it every single day. And I think that to lead this country, you should feel some gratitude for it, and you should feel some admiration for the people who actually make the country run. And I will say that sometimes I hear Kamala Harris, and she talks about the history of this country, and she likes to put it down a little bit. I don't know that she actually admires the people who work in this factory. I hope that she does, but I don't really see that gratitude. I don't really hear that gratitude when she speaks. I certainly do, and I think that that's one of the reasons why.
A lot of times, people that work in that factory, or people that are struggling to find a job, or people that are in lower income brackets, that they're actually voting normally against their best interest. I know they tell you they'll fix the economy. I know they'll tell you they'll do this, they'll do that. They're going to give most of the breaks to their rich friends, and you would probably be better off voting a different party than what you typically do.
I raised $1 million for him. It's a lot of money. I supported him. He lost. He let us down. But, you know, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me.
So he's talking about John McCain. He says, I raised $1 million for him, right? That I never, he lost. He let us down. I never liked him much after that. He's a loser. We don't like losers. Then the interviewer is saying he's a war hero. Sir, he's a war hero.
No, he lost. So I never liked him as much after that because I don't like losers. But Frank, let me get to it. He hit me. He's not a war hero. He's a war hero. He's a war.
He's not a war hero. He is.
War hero. He's a war hero. He's a war hero. 5.5 years. He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you. Do you agree with that? He's a war hero.
He was a tortured prisoner of war. If you've never heard about John McCain's story, there's a lot to it, including when they found out that his dad was like a high-ranking official in the military. They were going to send him out early, right? And he refused to go till all of his men could go. All of the men ranks below him.
Hero. He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured.
Now, the only way the Q-tards and the Trump cocksuckers can make sense of this is that he was deep state, he was behind here, he was doing this, he was doing that, he wasn't a real Republican. They try to justify this, but this is fucking horrible. Again, he had a chance to leave. And he's like, no, I'm not. He was an officer, and his dad or somebody, maybe his uncle, somebody else is a high-ranking officer, and he would not leave until the other people got to leave.
He hit me. He's not a war hero.
He's a war hero.
He's a war hero.
5.5 years.
He's a war hero because he was captured. I like people that weren't captured, okay? I hate to tell you.
Do you agree with that?
He's a war hero because he was captured.
That's crazy. I wonder if somebody's done it.
I woke up on Sunday morning and found that he had died. I was absolutely devastated because this man's gone physically now from this world.
You spent 2 years with John McCain. You talked about walking and pacing the cell. What did you talk about? What was your interaction like?
I picked his brains big time. I wanted to find out from him what it was to be a military leader and be successful at it. We talked about leadership. John, I'm walking with two perfectly good legs, and my arms are functional, and John is walking stiff-legged, and his arm askew because it didn't heal right, but a cigarette dangling out of the corner of his mouth. He loved to smoke. He said, I wanted to read everything that I had missed over the 5.5 years that I was a captive. And John shared with us
5.5 years, dude. I thought it was like 4 years, but 5.5 years.
all of those things that he had digested before that time.
He was the entertainment.
He was the entertainment.
He was a storyteller on the campaign trail, but that started in those cells.
It did, and we wanted it. Friday and Saturday night was movie night or literature night. He could emulate the character and the mannerisms of the characters he was describing so very, very well. We reprised, A Christmas Carol. Did you ever hear that story?
Tell it.
Okay, they said, let's this Christmas season have a Christmas play, a Christmas Carol. We don't have a script. We're going to have to ad-lib all this stuff. First thing that says McCain's going to be Scrooge. That's the kind of stuff he was in. He animated.
You'll be a pallbearer for Senator McCain. What will be going through your head, do you think?
I'll cry. I'm on the edge of it right now. I miss him a lot. And I think I miss John so much because he never forgot us. John never forgot the other POWs, never did. He's a good man, and I can't talk to him about him in the past. He's still with me, and he always will be. And I think those of us that got to know him and shared jokes and jibes, I think we all feel that same way. He can't get rid of us.
He come back pretty fucked up. I wonder if this is any good. This is Locked Up Abroad, the Discovery Channel. That guy was captive with him. They shared a cell beside each other or something, and that's why he's one of his pallbearers.
This is an amazing survival story. I had been tortured, my shoulder broken.
We might get copyright strike on this if the YouTube channel goes down. Well, no, this is just a preview. Probably not.
Instant beating. I had no idea how painful it would be. This story should be told to every American. You can't escape. Hard time.
Yeah, I probably can't do a Discovery Channel. John McCain is POW. POW release. That's the Washington Post. You think they'll copyright strike it?
U.S. Senator John McCain was diagnosed with glioblastoma, brain cancer, in July 2017. Star admirals in the Navy, and he followed in their footsteps, attending the Naval Academy at Annapolis. McCain is often described as being a rebellious young man. He was among the few proud members of the Century Club, those who earned more than 100 demerits in a year. McCain graduated in 1958 and became a naval aviator. His real battles with adversity would begin several years later.
Retreat does not bring safety, and weakness does not bring peace. And it is this lesson
that has brought us to Vietnam.
McCain was flying in a mission over Hanoi in October 1967 when his A-4 Skyhawk was shot down.
One of the great things about being a fighter pilot is you're sure that everybody else is going to get shot down, but not you.
He was captured and held as a prisoner of war. Defiance became a vital tool for McCain to survive the physically and psychologically harsh conditions of confinement at Hoa La Prison, nicknamed the Hanoi Hilton.
I was on a flight over the city of Hanoi, and I was bombing and was hit by either missile or anti-aircraft fire. I'm not sure. And I was picked up by some North Vietnamese and taken to the hospital, where I almost died.
Historians have said that no American prisoner arrived at the Hanoi Hilton in worse condition than McCain.
We got pretty rough. Broke my shoulder and hurt my knee again. And when you're in a war and you're captured by the enemy, you can't expect, to have tea.
They demanded information in exchange for medical care, but McCain refused and was left for dead, until one of the men discovered he was the son of an admiral. For 9 months, McCain repeatedly refused.
They were going to let him die. His injuries were pretty bad, so they're just going to leave him for dead until they found out his family.
Used to give his captors information, but eventually broke when he was put in the ropes, a torture system that bent and warped the body. McCain relented and signed a statement calling himself an air pirate. Afterwards, he tried to hang himself with his shirt before a guard intervened. In total, McCain would spend more than...
He even tried to kill himself in there, right? So they put him in different torture devices once they found out that, that he should have some information, maybe even from his dad. He signed a statement calling himself, the translation is air pirate or whatever. They forced him to sign a statement. Then he tried to kill himself while he's in there. And then Trump's like, well, I like my heroes not captured.
To have tea.
They demanded information in exchange for medical care, but McCain refused and was left for dead, until one of the men discovered he was the son of an admiral. For 9 months, McCain repeatedly refused to give his captors information, but eventually broke when he was put in the ropes, a torture system that bent and warped the body. McCain relented and signed a statement calling himself an air pirate. Afterwards, he tried to hang himself with his shirt before a guard intervened. In total, McCain would spend more than 5 years in captivity. Along with his fellow prisoners, McCain managed small triumphs over his captors. They communicated through taps and knocks to help each other endure brutal solitary confinement. In one incident, McCain shouted obscenities at visiting North Vietnamese dignitaries. That act of defiance earned McCain 2 years in solitary confinement. McCain and 590 other POWs were released in 1973. The Vietnam War officially ended in 1975.
Well, the great honor of my life was to serve in the company of heroes. I'm not a hero.
Let me see. The rope says prison guards bound POWs in legs with tight ropes, then use a device to pull on these ropes to dislocate their arms and legs, and then left them in iron foot stocks for days or weeks without resetting their arms and legs. Extreme beatings were common, many times resulting in deaths. This is all from the Hanoi Hilton, is what the nickname for it. That's crazy. It's the New York Post article on it. On September 9th, 1965, Navy Commander James Bond Stockdale was flying his A-4 Skyhawk, same plane, on a mission over North Vietnam just days after the Gulf of Tonkin incident when his plane took fire and hurtled down. Forced to eject with seconds to spare, he landed with severe injuries. His left leg bent sideways by 60 degrees, his kneecap smashed, his left shoulder dislocated, rendering his arms useless, his back he thought was likely broken. Stockdale was quickly discovered by villagers who beat him and dragged him through the streets until he was delivered to his ultimate destination, the Ho Lo Prison. How Lo Prison, as it was diversely known among American POWs held there, the Hanoi Hilton. 25 months later, Stockdale, who was CAG, commander of the air group, was the highest-ranking naval officer in captivity, would be moved, along with 10 other American POWs, to an even more remote prison site they called Alcatraz. Together, these men were regarded by the Vietnamese as the most dangerous, subversive, indestructible Americans they have ever encountered. Their plan, by isolating them from their POWs and each other, they would finally maintain some control of the most insolent American soldiers. Things did not go according to plan. On February 11, 1965, Lieutenant Commander Bob Shoemaker became the second U.S. pilot shot down over Vietnam. He was taken to Hanoi Hilton and held in isolation for 4 months before he was even allowed to write home. In that time, Shoemaker, known as Shu, made contact with one other prisoner. Shu had seen other American regularly dumping his slop bucket outside and managed to scratch out a note on a piece of toilet paper. Welcome to the Hanoi Hilton, he wrote. If you get the note, scratch balls as you're coming back. Xu then smuggled the note into the crack of a wall near the latrine, and just a few minutes later, his fellow American walked through the courtyard, furiously scratching his crotch. He'd managed to leave a reply. He was Ron Stores, a captain, U.S. Air Force. As more American POWs arrived, Xu realized that the Vietnamese would soon isolate them. How could they keep communicating? Morse code was no good. Even the North Vietnamese understood that. Then he recalled a tap code developed by American POWs in Korea, one he'd learned in the Air Force, survival, evasion, resist, the SEER school. This is how the Americans at Hanoi, led by Stockdale, would communicate from now on. They could warn each other about the most sadistic guards, check in with each other, relay what to expect in so-called interrogation, encourage each other to not to break, offer consolation when, one by one, they eventually did. Hold on just a second. Sorry, I forgot about something. There was Harry Jenkins, 6'5" Navy pilot who refused to give up what his father did for a living. Once they got that, they'd want more and more. Jenkins was tortured so brutally, he was sure he'd lose his hands. He passed out. When he came to, his tormentors hung him from his wrist, still tied behind his back to a meat hook. He had never conceived of such pain. He asked God to take him. Again, Jenkins passed out. When he came to again, he was made to kneel on gravel for hours, and only when the skin was sheared off his kneecaps did he submit. My father grows flowers, he said. The torture was constant. The Americans were thrown in tiny cells, slabs of concrete for beds, single bare light bulbs making sleep impossible. They were in a constant state of starvation, and when they were fed, their watery soup was laced with pebbles or feces. They were made to stand on stacked stools for days on end. They were often strapped down by 15-foot leg irons, which caused lacerations and infection, or by stocks at the end of their beds, which kept them on their backs for days. The walls and floors were overrun with roaches and rats. When they were strapped down, they were forced to lie in their own excrement. John Stockdale, who'd been held in solitary for 18 months, worried when he saw the Vietnamese begin to soften toward their prisoners. The beatings lessened, the food increased. This was equally dangerous and could cause POWs to submit, to confess war crimes, to be used as propaganda, to give up fellow soldiers in exchange for other release. The Fink release program, Stockdale called it. Stockdale's second in command was Commander Jerry Denton, who had been hauled before TV cameras by the North Vietnamese and had blinked torture and Morse code on air. There was Nels Tanner, because there were people claiming that they weren't torturing them and claiming they were keeping them well, and he was able to blink out Morse code torture when they put him on TV cameras. There was Nels Tanner, tortured into writing a confession of war crimes. He identified a Lieutenant Clark Kent and was thereafter known as the author of Superman's Confession. While transported to Hanoi after being shot down, Jim Mulligan's captors poured gasoline over his bound arms, fusing threads of rope into his wounds. Howie Rutledge was beaten mercilessly during his first day in captivity, refusing to give up his ship and squadron. He was told to get on the floor, and a guard thrashed his injuries and dislocated leg until it pressed flat on the ground. He and Sam Johnson had both suffered over 60 boils, each during one summer, and Johnson had been held in solitary multiple times, often going 6 days in a row without sunlight. Ron Stores had been made to stand on a stool for 7 days straight, beaten nearly to death by a bamboo stick, hands tied behind his back. George McKnight was held for 34 nights in an air raid trench, 4 foot long, and he was 6 foot 2 inches tall. He would conspire with POW George Coker, and together they'd make a daring escape from the Hanoi Hilton in 1967, getting 15 miles before they were discovered by villagers on a riverbank. Together, these 11 men were the most unbreakable prisoners of the Hanoi Hilton. So the Vietnamese moved them to a remote outpost, the one the POWs called Alcatraz. Here in a small structure near the Ministry of National Defense, the Alcatraz 11 were each thrown one by one into windowless rooms Stockdale and Mulligan were considered so dangerous that the Vietnamese left an empty cell between them to thwart secret communication. It didn't work. Mulligan scratched audible messages while he was at the latrine. 2 men isolated from one another, from the other 9, figured out that they could flash hand signals through the camp in the gaps between the doors and floor. These messages were often no more subversive than, "How are you doing?" Words of solace or encouragement. Sometimes they would tap codes to signal group prayer or the Pledge of Allegiance, which they'd whisper simultaneously. Despite increased isolation, starvation, and torture, the men remained determined. I think a big thing would just be like knowing that someone else is there, right? Just knowing that anybody else is there. If you thought they had already killed everybody, you're there by yourself, that'd be fucking crazy. That'd be even worse. Despite increased isolation, starvation, and torture, the men remained determined. By spring in 1968, the men had spent 5 months at Alcatraz, and the cells were becoming sweat boxes, reaching up to 110 degrees each day. The combined stench of human waste and sweat made it nearly impossible to breathe. Yet Stockdale and Denton refused to capitulate. Instead, they ordered their men to join in a hunger strike. Denton was soon called to meet with the commander they'd dubbed Rat. "I want to congratulate you," Denton said, on putting us to slow death by heat." "No," Denton, Rat said. I did not know conditions were that bad. Our orders are to keep you isolated and in irons. We have no orders to kill you. We will study." That did not mean an end to the torture, yet the men remained united. On the 3rd anniversary of his capture, Stockdale found a message in the train which read, "We love you." 2 months later, after Nixon was elected, the Vietnamese wanted a real propaganda out of Alcatraz 11. They beat George McKnight for 36 hours straight. They beat and tortured Denton so brutally his arms turned black. Jim Mulligan was strung up and beaten for 6 days. Nels Tanner for 17. Sam Johnson was so brutalized that when he finally submitted, he literally could not write an apology demanded by the Vietnamese. He was only able to sign it. And when he was thrown back in his cell, he heard Jerry Denton whispering to him from next door, Sam, it's okay, buddy." "I made them write it, Jerry," he replied, "but I had to sign it." "It's okay, Sam," Jerry said. "You're okay. Hang on. You did good." Each of the men would break, and each of the men understood. In fact, all of them worried most about Ron Storrs, who had now been in solitary for 4 years and had tried to commit suicide with a razor. Jerry Denton urged Storrs to say whatever he had to so he could get out. His life was in danger, and it wasn't a violation of military's code of conduct. Storrs was too far gone to take it as anything but an insult. On the 11th, he was the only one who wouldn't make it back. He died in captivity. On December 9th, 1969, after 25 months, the POWs were taken out of Alcatraz and transported back to the Hanoi Hilton. By now, the families of POWs had brought enough publicity to the cause, forcing the U.S. government to address it. The North Vietnamese did not want to be caught violating Geneva Conventions. After leaving Alcatraz, some of the men thought they'd be going home within days, weeks, or maybe months. They were not freed until February 12, 1973. 2 weeks after the Paris Peace Accord, Sam Johnson and Jim Mulligan flew home on the same C-141. And once on board, Mulligan dissolved into tears. A nurse gently approached. "It's okay, Captain Mulligan," she said. "It's all over with, and we're going to take you home." Not only did every Alcatraz survivor go on to have a full and happy life, several continued to serve the country that had sent them in this misguided war. Tanner, Jenkins, Rutledge, Mulligan, Coker, McKnight, and Johnson went back to active duty. Johnson has served in Congress since 1991. In 1988, Shoemaker retired as a Rear Admiral from the Navy. Denton, too, made Rear Admiral and served in the U.S. Senate from 1981 to 87. Stockdale was awarded the Medal of Honor in 1976, ultimately retiring as Vice Admiral. In 1992, he ran for Vice President of the ticket with Ross Perot. He died on July 5th, 2005 after suffering from Alcatraz's after suffering from Alzheimer's. I've read Alcatraz so much. Alzheimer's. In 2009, the surviving members of the Alcatraz 11 commissioned the USS Stockdale, a guided missile carrier that bears the motto, "Return with Honor." So that was the story of, like, that didn't include John McCain, but that's kind of like what it was like, I guess. Horrible. Fucking horrible, dude. And then Trump says this stupid. Well, how could it be so goddamn stupid? Who lets him say stupid shit like that? And then his followers jump on board like, "Oh, yeah, he likes to pretend like he's a war hero. He's not a war hero. He's part of the deep state cabal." That's not even him. He's been replaced. Stupid people like Phil. By the way, Phil did change his Telegram page to where he's now just Q. He's now just Q. So I guess that's what we're currently seeing. Live tonight. That was from August 5th. We'll go over some Phil stuff tomorrow. We'll do a we got to do a Patreon video. So we'll do some Patreon and Twitch subscribers tomorrow. We'll do some Patreon, Twitch subscribers tomorrow and talk about some Phil shit, I guess. I've been trying to avoid it. I think the election's more important than Phil. I don't think we're going to wake up any of his followers or whatever, but it is funny. Was it just his personal account? I don't know. I just saw he changed it to Q. Could be his personal account. Let me see. If it was just his personal account, he changed it back. His main account is still Phil Godlewski. At least on my thing, it says Phil Godlewski, and his personal account still says Phil Godlewski. Oh well. Anyways, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks for being here. We'll go over some Phil stuff tomorrow. That'd be Twitch subscribers and any Patreon level. I'm gonna hop off here tonight. Thanks for the support. Thank you for the donations that come in. There's a couple of donations that come through. Tough times right now. Running off all the Trump supporters. All the Trump worshipers. I don't care if you support Trump. I can't. And if you can't hear anything bad about Trump ever, you're not going to like this. But for the rest of you that stuck around, I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. This has been the Cold Beer Confessional. It seems like this is going to work, and I should have a new cooler tomorrow anyways. But even if I can't get the cooler installed tomorrow, at least I know that I can stream from this. So thank you guys for joining us. Consider supporting the show if you can. At least until we get over this hump where fucking Susan Cole leaves every fucking day and all the Trump supporters are mad at me. Either way, thank you for joining us. Support the show at coldbeer.fund, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show,
I spent a lot of time supporting him, and I can't anymore. It's getting to be too much. I understand people still support him, but when I think he does something wrong, I'm gonna talk about it.
You don't have balls.
Okay, Scott. Here we go. I think I started some shit. Listen off. It's about to get lit. Get the place.
I need to get. I guess since I don't know.
You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen.
When I was covering Phil, a bunch of Trump supporters noticed me and jumped on. I need to get some. I guess, some left-wing people to notice the show somehow and jump on board. I need to start arguing with people online. Is what I need to do. That's where it's at. And maybe even going live on TikTok. That's where the new creators seem to be going live at.
Fucking profits who profit off of gossip. Worshiping Trump's cock and begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers.
Need to make TikTok videos to begin with.
Shaft eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next, Trump?
I have some. Mariah did my makeup one time. It felt like she was jabbing my fucking eye out.
'Cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking superpowers.
It was like a charity fundraiser goal or whatever. She did my makeup.
Get lit, get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best. You know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom.
I wish I could do like a shorter thing on TikTok and drive people to my YouTube, to my Twitch. Basically, I do better on Twitch than I do on YouTube. I don't enjoy going live on TikTok. I can't bring stuff up. I can't talk about stuff. I can't show stuff, and I guess I could just get on there and be like, "Fuck Trump." Hop in if you don't agree. Change my mind. Do the old Steven Crowder and go home and yell at Mariah.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, 'cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I I think I started some shit. Piss him off, it's about
I would like to show
bets, you know.
the left people that have no idea, the people on the left that have no idea because they're not this deep in like Q stuff. I would like to show Phil to like people like fucking Destiny or some of these other left-wing influencers. I bet you'd blow their fucking mind, dude.
Doing so well. It's all over, hands on his shoulders, they ringing his bell. You got Frog News Network doing no damn research. They rework and copy on Cox that came first, ninth inning, second string, and they acting like they
Have a good night, everybody.
so stolen bullshit, shit and runs to the shitter. All this nonsense on my conscience, it's hard to sleep at night. Who the fuck is in my window with this time of the night? These parasites, these leeches, with all their secret meetings, teaching all you fucking cretins about baby-eating heathens, believing in reason.
Dude, if you just get Destiny to talk about Phil for fucking 10 minutes on a goddamn stream and just reviewing all the craziness around him, like that would send so much hate to Phil and people that knew him already. And people checking on their grandparents and their fucking parents, investing in him and breaking them loose. That'd be a game changer. It would be 100 of what Nick Alvear did.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
You don't have those guts because you're a pussy.
Have a good night.
Pussy wearing aviator glasses in your mother's basement, and I won't even give out your dime store handle because that's.
Oh no, I'm sorry, Branaki. Hope you're feeling better at least while you can. Have a good night, guys.